morning, guys. It's Kimba Savvy, and I'm back with another entry of REM Diary. And today is December 11th. I don't know. I think it's been a few days since I recorded my last stream. And let me just tell y'all, last night I had 3 dreams, and they are all, I guess 2 of them were kind of related, and one of them is completely like, I don't understand. So, first dream, I don't know if 1 and 2 are related or if they're completely separate. So, in my first dream I was in this it was like a dorm room. I've never been to a dorm room, so I don't really know what it looks like, but it was me and 2 other girls living in the same room that was like obviously massive. We had bathroom and whatnot. So, we were all living in the same room, and I woke up in that morning and I was like, dang, like I'm really, really excited right now, so I had to go get my toy and go hide in the closet and play with it for a little bit, because I was just so excited in my dream that I was like, damn, I need to get this out of me right now. So I went over to the closet and I did that, and my other roommate, the girl, she was coming out of the bathroom and she went to ask me something, so I bent out of the closet oh yeah, da da da, okay, cool, because the way that everything was set up was the closet was kind of in a little hallway nook, and she was in the bathroom on the other end. So I was like, yeah, I'm just getting dressed, I'll pick out my outfit and then I'll shower. And then I finished in the closet and came back out oh, I needed that, blah 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 blah, I felt so good, this, that, and the fifth. Then she came out of the bathroom and I went in the bathroom to shower. So the only reason why I think it correlates to the second dream was because the second dream, it was you know how we have the Bachelor show, and it's the guy, and he's dating a few different women, and he has to pick one that he ends up liking or whatever? Okay, so basically I was on that show, but not the Bachelor the one you see on TV. This was a king bachelor. He was king of the entire, land that we lived on. I don't know where the hell we were, but he was king bachelor, and I was for some reason standing diagonally behind him, watching him interview all of these girls that are coming in, and almost every other one was like, hi. Just super in daze / awe or whatever, deer eyes and headlights, so that's how these girls were, half of them. And you could just tell he was getting so bored. He was like, ugh, all these girls are literally the same. I could just tell from his body language, his demeanor, how he would ask a few questions. And almost every single girl was it was boring as shit. Now, I don't know who the hell I was or what position I had to be standing there. I think I was one of the contenders, and I was the only one standing behind him. So, on the other side of the table, it was his grandparents or other royal relatives all there to approve or disapprove. And this one girl came up and she sat down. He asked her a question and she was like, hi. What? She didn't understand the question that he was saying. And the moment was so raw that I just I went I had to pretend that I was clearing my throat, when in reality I laughed at her. And the king turned around and he looked at me and he was just he knows that I was can I just say something? Or are you going to ask me a question you're going to ask all these other girls? And he's like, no, go ahead. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Because the royal relatives were like, no, you need to pick another queen, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay. And then I looked at him and I was like, honestly, this is a waste of your time. You are not going to find another queen throughout this entire process when all of them can only end up saying hi and bye to you. What the fuck? What are you going to do with that? You seem like the type, you want to go do something outdoorsy. You want to see what kind of girl likes to go outside, what kind of girl wants to go running with you. You want to laugh. You want to have a good time. You want to relax and be with her in good company, right? And he was just his face lit up and he was like, oh my God, that's not everything that I want. Literally, wow, you really know me. And I was like, well, yeah, I've always had a crush on you, blah, 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 blah. I was just talking to him. And he was like, all right, this is over. I'm done. this is who I'm picking, which was like me. And I was just like, oh. And like my whole face went blush red, and I was like, oh my god, okay, like you picture me, like so I was like, okay, like that's great. And he sent all the other girls home, and all the other girls were giving me like dirty ass looks, and I was just like in awe, like shocked that he even picked me, like how or why. But like I was giddy and nervous, and we had I guess the way that the, how do you even call that, like the royals work is like he has to pick like a few different queens and then eventually like just mate with or be with one queen. So it was literally just me, and there was another princess that's lined up to be the queen. So I don't know if it was like his sister or his stepsister or something, but she was only 11 years old. So she can't really do anything, but she needs to learn the ways of how to be queen and stuff. So she was looking really forward to looking up to me and whatnot. And I went over to the king after I met with the younger girl, and we were talking or whatever, and he got an all athletic gear to go for a jog. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna go for a jog. I don't know if you want to come with me, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went over to him and I hugged him, and when I felt his like biceps, and I was like, damn, okay. And I like felt his body. Like I guess this is the first time I actually like hugged him, and I was like, whoa. And it was just like sparks in my dream. And I was just like, holy crap, like, what is this feeling? Oh my god. And then, like, he was, like, breathing heavily a little bit, and I was, like, breathing on his neck, like, just, like, and it was, like, getting toasty, and he was like, okay. He was like, all right, I'll be back later. I'm just gonna go for my run. And I was like, okay, like, no problem. Have a good one. And, like, it was really weird to me, too, so he left. And I was just left behind. I was trying to play with the 11-year-old. But at the same time, I ended up picking her up and went upstairs. And when we went upstairs, there was like 20 different pairs of shoes everywhere. And I asked the princess, I said, so which one are your shoes? She goes, those ones. I said, oh, the white ones? She said, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed the shoes, and then we go to walk outside. I guess we were going to go play or something. And then like that dream kind of ended. Girl, if I ever got with a king, excuse me, what? A king bachelor? Like, where do they got that at? Let me find out. But that was like I don't, like, that one I haven't been, what's the word, trying to recollect or, like, put together in my brain as much as this last dream. This last dream is a little more intense, more higher power involved, like, I'll just start it. So in my dream, I was sitting in this room. It looked like a small bedroom, like big enough to fit like a kind of like a twin toddler bed kind of thing. There's a white dresser, white curtains over the the window. And then like in the hallway, there was like a yellow light. And I was sitting in the corner of the chair facing the bed, and to the right of me is the dresser, and on that wall to the far right is the window with the curtains. And I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for, but I was just waiting. And I was like swinging my legs a little bit, like do 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 do. And then all of a sudden, like, I just knew. So I perked up, and I just, like, what was the first thing that I asked? I don't remember the first thing that I asked, but I remember looking over to the side. And I said, who is he? And they were like, why don't you look yourself? And it was 3. Like, one close, one a little above, and the other one a little further, but a little higher, like diagonally, so I could see all of their faces. In my dream, I instantly knew that these 3 people were my past lives. And I just remember looking over at them, and I said, who is he? And they said, why don't you look at him? He's right there. I said, really? Like, in my head, I said, really? So I turned. I looked over to my diagonal left, this vicinity kind of area. And it was like a 9-year-old boy. Black hair, khaki pants up to his waist with a belt, like old school, and a, a plaid button down. And I was like, what's your name? Like, I was just trying to study him. He had his back to me. And I was just looking at him, studying him. And when he turned around is when I asked, what's your name? And he goes, Barb. It's like, oh, Barb? That's your first name? Barb? But when he said Barb, the spelling of his name came up. And it was B-A-R-B-E-E. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen anybody spell it like that. Then he walked over to the bed. And he just started, like, doing something on the bed. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but he was like, maybe he was making the bed or something. But he was just standing there making the bed. And then I said, well, what's your last name or your first name? And he goes, and I like look back over at my 3 past lives, and they're all just staring at him in awe. And I was like, who is this kid? And so I asked him, I said, okay, so what's your other name? Because I don't remember if I said last name or first name. This is where it gets confusing. And he just laughs and he goes, that's easy. And he looks back at me. He goes, Marvin. I was like, oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you, Marvin. He was like, you too. And I remember looking at this cute little kid's face. He was only 9 years old. And I was just like, who is this kid? So I was like confused when he said like Marvin. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked back at my past lives. And I looked back at Marvin, and this time he started walking back to the other corner of the room. And he was just smiling, laughing. And I was like, who is he? And they were like, that's the love of your life. And I just paused. I was like, but he's 9 years old. Like, what? How come I'm not seeing him as an older version? How come I'm not seeing him as the version I ended up marrying in a past life? How come I'm seeing him as a 9-year-old boy? No one would answer. They said, this is the love of your life in your past lives. And you'll find him eventually. And I was just like, okay. So then I looked at him and I said, okay, bye, Marvin. I know you have to go. He's like, yeah, I do. I'll see you later. Bye. And then I looked back at my past lives, and they started to go away. And then I was in the room by myself, and my dreams started to fade, and I woke up, and I was just like, what the hell? I've never had a dream with, like, me actually communicating with my past lives or seeing something from a past life, because in my dream, the kid himself was in black and white, but the room was colored. I was in color. The 3 past lives were in color, but the kid specifically was in black and white in the whole dream. Almost like I'm watching an old school cartoon movie thing. Like I Love Lucy, for example. And I've just woken up. I've been puzzled. I don't get it. Let me see if I can pull up the receipts. So this morning when I woke up from that dream, I was like going a little like, Marvin. And I was trying to think, did he say Barb? Did he say like Barb? I was trying to think of how he said it. And then I was like, did he say Marvin? Did he say Marlin? Like, did he say Merlin? And the only thing that came up, hold on. Okay. So, when I woke up this morning, I went to Google who he was. Only one guy came up. Every time I tried Merlin Marlin, nothing came up. When I tried a different variation of Barb, like instead of 2 E's, 1 E, nothing came up. The only thing that came up was exactly how my dream said it. B-A-R-B-E-E, Marvin. And the first and only guy that kept coming up is this guy who was in the army. This guy right here. I guess I could just put it on the screen. But this is the guy that keeps coming up. Marvin C. Barbie. And if I picture this man as a 9-year-old boy, that's kind of what he looked like. This man was in the U.S. Army. He fought in the Korean conflict. And he passed away November 13, 2011. I don't know this family. I don't know this man. I've never met anybody. Like, every time I Google Barb with an extra E, Marvin. This is the guy that comes up with the exact spelling of the name and everything. There are other people that come up, but it's different variations. It'll be B-I-E, or it will be Marvin with like an E or another I, or like, you know what I mean? And I was just like very, very puzzled. I was like, okay, well, someone exists with that name. That's interesting. Then I went to go and Google, what does it mean when I dream about my past lives? This specifically, it says, if the dream was about good things that happened in your past life, then you would be longing to live the same experiences once again. You may not be in a position to lead the same life in the present birth. Hence, your dream could give you glimpses of the moments you would want to cherish. However, and then it just goes on to talk about if a dream was agony, but it wasn't an agonizing dream. So I was like, okay, so I guess I've been longing for that same connection. I'm not sure. Then the other part says, moving forward, if the dream is about a person you were attached to, then you would have the desire of having someone like him or her in the present life. Then in this case, all you can do is accept the present and change things that are in your control and not everything else, because there is something called destiny. You need to be realistic and stop living in a fantasy land. Excuse me, what? So, after I read those two, like, from that article about dreaming your past lives, because that's the only article I could find that would relate somewhat to me speaking to 3 of my past lives, all agreeing about this one moment with this kid, like, I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together all morning, and I don't understand it yet. But, like, who is this guy? Why did I see him as a 9-year-old? Why didn't I see him when he was older, or when I married him, or like I don't know. I don't know. But I thought it was very interesting. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought about this. Like, I really, really need some insight and some second opinions about what my brain is making up over here. So please let me know down in the comments. Like, please. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for any notifications for when I do upload. I do upload Monday and Wednesdays at 8 a.m. and sometimes Sunday at 6. I'm a little stressed from this dream. Wish me luck. I hope you all have a good day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.